I'm back in this demo, and I want to delete some orders that are lingering they're there for an hour, but they're terrible prices. Now, there's the reason why you just want to trade one currency, because I could just toggle between the price, and I can go down, rifle down to find out where these buy stops are, where these terrible prices are. Right here, if I look at the price, I'm about 10 pips from getting filled here. So if I don't want to if I don't want to buy the top of the day, which is only 10 pips away, then I got to get rid of these because I'm already in 50K. And you can see them flickering. That means you're 10 pips from getting filled on that. So you got to hurry up and get over here. Now, this is because you didn't write a 15-minute script. So the downfall of not babysitting every move this market makes. This is like running a business. These are customers coming in. And now you got them stacked up, and it's too many customers. You don't have enough employees. You got to get rid of these guys. Okay. So I don't want to pick up any more K. I'm also 10 pips from filling on the buy limits right now. Got to get rid of those. This is when you have to come in and intervene on top of your margin level, because it may come crushing down. And if you think an hour from now, if you can't drop 10 pips in an hour, you've never seen Forex before. So this is the management issue. And all this stuff could fill at the round number. Now we're coming into the round number orders. So right here's the rollover. And you're 5 minutes from the top of the hour. You could spike down into that. Now, since you're not going to buy any more on stops, you know that you're not going to overload your margin that way. See, how do you use your margin? It's not like, hopefully we all have a trade plan, and then it's how much margin. And that would be like, oh, people, 2% of your account, but it doesn't matter. The 2% is a ridiculous number. It's not attached to anything real. If you said, okay, for your pinky, how much would you, if you could risk your pinky, would you make $1 million? So it has to be something tangible you're risking. Otherwise, something you could identify. So you have to say you don't buy something at the store, instead you put $50 in a trading account, and you trade a couple positions, a couple ideas. This is pretty much a straightforward system where you just put your orders in. The buy orders are set below where you're at for the limits, and as far as buy stops go, you just are going to have to wait, or you also have to wait for the limits to possibly fill. And so you're letting the market come to you either on the limits and the stops. This is the management part, I think, because I know for certain I want to buy low on these limits, 10 pips away at the round number. And that is the breakout point. So we could come all the way back to that and dip into this thing. So I definitely want to buy there. Now, as it's crushing down in at this time of day, I would sit with my finger on the buy stop key if I thought I wasn't in enough margin. So now they're offline, so naturally I can't even place an order, but so they're coming down. Now I can put buy stops in. Well, as soon as I come back online. Big crush back to the 107. What a surprise. Just before the top of the hour. It's almost like it's just crazy. Okay, so I'm buying this pullback to 107. Very fast, very dirty. 2 minutes, 1 minute to go. Here we go. So now I'm going to put buy stops in because they went offline on me. And I'll put more buy limits in. So I can't tell what happened there. Okay, so I don't know what I'm in now, but I'm going to put buy stops in. And more buy limits. And then I'm going to go up to the list of these and put in these super deeps. 20 pips. And I have a 25 pip deep in an hour. Okay. We're waiting for the top of the hour. We're right at 107. Just a little bit below. More buy stops now. And buy limit's 20 pips deep in case we get a super spike where they go for the low of the day again. Okay, now it's going to be 10 pips deep for an hour. 20 seconds. Look at this pullback. 20 seconds. It's hysterical. Okay, so as long as you're, and now 10 seconds, as long as you're here for it, I suppose. Now this you have to really have your finger on the trigger. Okay, buy stops. So all the way back to fair value, right at the top of the hour. What a surprise. On the 15-minute chart, 15-minute chart's a real easy thing to get your brain around, especially the 1 hour orders. It's going to go 4 bars. Okay, now we're going to load the wagon a little bit and buy stops and go. Now, see those bad orders are gone. Can you imagine getting trapped up here at the top? We could get trapped up there next. Okay, so now in about, I think I lost a little bit there, so I'm only in 40K now. As I lost a little bit there on that turnaround. Now that, but I've still got pending, so I'll maybe get back to 50K on the way out of the gate here. So that was an example of a scalp from both sides towards the middle. Had you dropped a limit, a symmetrical, when you're right here, if you would have dropped a symmetrical buy sell limit, you can see how if you would have sold 10 pips deep and about 10, 20 pips above here, this above and below that blue line, sell limits, buy limits, right? How would that have mattered? You're making money, you're not even trend trading it. You're in an uptrend, but your account's flat. If you're holding through this whole, like last night, if you got in here in Asia, you're like, what the fuck, I'm still, and you miss this exit, and you miss, if you're short, you miss this exit down here, right? Isn't that the typical story? Like I went long and they stopped me out, and then I bought here, but I didn't get out, and then I came back to here and I go, fuck, I'm still in this trade. And so it's really, I don't know how people trade more than one currency, honestly. I thought I could do it. So I thought, no, I think I'd rather just screw this one. I'd rather take this one in the kitchen and rape it. I don't think I could do all those currencies. Give me a staff. I'll do it. Sure, that works. Anyways, I have 50K here. 58. Well, I'll just say 58. I don't know what it costs, so it was $10 a ticket. Okay, it's got to go take out the high of the day now. And it doesn't have to. It could just dick around and go through the floor now. But certainly the bigger time frame says it's going up. Here's the 4 hour. So now they've trapped the bulls and the bears in the 4 hour. Tortured their face off here. Oh, stop entry, continuation. Oh, he's buy stop. Oh, wow, I'm underwater by only 10 pips right now. Breakout traders are 10 pips underwater on the breakout of the 4 hour. And if they put their stop in here, they're chopped out. Bye-bye. See ya. You're gone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, oh, no. No, we love you. We love those stop bots. So why does a stop bot get its ass kicked? Just take a look at that chart. You need a PhD for that? You can back test it. These people back testing a Gartley, for God's sakes, man. Could somebody let me see that happen? How much I'd pay to see somebody back test a Gartley. Let's see, what kind of stopper should we use? Oh, I don't know. Gosh, it's getting stopped out a lot. That stop out's not working either. Fuck, I put that thing on and guess we got stopped, we got filled, and we got chopped. Oof. Oh man, that stop out not working out either. See, it's obviously a combo plate. You got to stop, you got to limit, you got a couple market orders. You're like, oh, I've seen this pattern before. Right? Who hasn't woken up to an account that's either blown up or just made $1 million? I mean, or whatever you call that, right? I'm down $10, I'm up $10. Anybody that's trading this shit, I should be scalping out of something right now looking at it. It's completely going up and down all the time. It's just the frequency. It's the rate of change. It's the dynamic range. And it's just off the charts sometimes. But I'm not trading on a big time frame. I don't care about the last month. I just saw a guy do a video where he's like, this is a pivot from way back in 1982. I'm like, dude, you know, you're just playing with your own head. It's mental masturbation. You know, the only thing that matters is what's going on in the next 3 hours. Because what if I have a stroke, right? Don't you want to make, this is the argument for scalping, don't you want to make money as you're dying? Like, you're like, oh, this is a great trade I'm in. Poof, you're gone. As opposed to, yeah, he died and, man, he's in some wild position in Forex. You don't even know how to unravel it. I don't know what the hell this guy was into. Especially if you got, if you're paying somebody by the hour, I guess you want to be making money by the hour. This is like, if it's you treat it like a real job, about 26 cents. This is like owning a coffee shop. What's the difference? The only difference is here, you need at least $5,000 to open the coffee shop, especially at this broker, because I've used at least $5,000 of margin so far. How much does your coffee shop cost? And here, you actually pick the size of your coffee shop every day. You want a little square, little chunk of the corner of the market. You want to. It's like real estate. Are you going to buy in the city, fair value, and hope the values change, or are you going to buy in the outskirts of town where there's a real oddity? You know, it's a. When you put an order 50 pips above or below where we're at right now for the next hour, you're saying, hey, you know, there might be something better out there. If you trade right where you're at, you're like, well, if it's sideways, we got to go with the flow of the larger stream. But you can't just have one order. People backtesting this shit with one ticket. Why would you bother? Hasn't anybody figured out yet that, sure, that robot's good for that. You know, yeah, that's why, you know, that's why these guys, these polygamists have like 10 wives, you know, because they're like, well, she's good at dishes, but the other one's good at knitting, and the other one's really good at banging. So, you know, obviously these guys have figured it out. This is what you have to do. Now, this is why I say people don't make money trading, because they treat it like a relationship. Oh, I got in this trade. Oh, I wouldn't trade more than one. No, because I'm right about this chick. I mean, not only is she hot, but her whole family blew up in a plane crash. So I don't have to hear about the relatives' issues. No mother-in-law issues, right? But people don't want to think about trading like that. They want to think, oh, I'm a trend trader. Waiting for that one train to come by. Man, please show me all the trend trades that have worked out in your life. Show me all those dreams of, it's going up there. Oh yeah, in a week. Right now they're blowing up my account because I'm in so heavy. Look, what's the point of leverage? Why do you want 1,001 leverage? Because a little goes a long way, but You got to spread that out. People aren't eating like that, are they? That's one thing that people have been able to survive by not eating one burger every night. You know, um, balanced diet, right? So you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's something to chase it with. But yeah, it's definitely it's just human nature, I suppose, to want it to make the market make sense, and make it a safe place, and get rid of the risk and all that stuff. But I don't know. It seems like painfully obvious what the market's doing. It's just that, as they say, you have to be on the same page with it and accept that sometimes it's just not going anywhere. But I think there's an appropriate thing to do every hour based on the 1 hour chart. It's not that hard. The market's trapped in a 10 pip window on any one instrument. Of course, I'm talking about the euro just because I'm trying to take the spread out of the whole equation. Just for people that like to think a geometric world, perfect world, that you would just think, well, I would just wait for the 1 hour chart. Look at the wicks, or what bars, the range. So the last 1 hour ATR, what is that and what is the appropriate trade for that? Well, it's either going to be a buy limit strip, which I put in there last an hour, or it's going to be a single buy stop. In the buy limit strip, you could have one buy limit down there. Okay, maybe I'm going to put a buy stop in now. Like here, this is a buys, that first ticket I uploaded to that high tail. This is going to buy like real aggressive, like right away here, and this one's going to buy here, and then this one's going to buy. Actually, I rewrote these, so the original versions are actually, this is not 20 pips deep, but I tighten these up. So I'm trying to tailor the, it's really a rhythm issue. It's like trying to sync your guitar to your delay box. I suppose, the market has a pace, so you have to get in tune with that. And you're just incrementally getting in and out. It should be incremental, and you can tell if you're doing it right because you should see different prices on your, since this is a 1K, if your profits are spread out 1 pip apart, then you know that you're spreading your risk. That's how you can tell. So all your profits should be, and your losses should be underwater or above water by a, see, these are bad because there's the same price. It's a duplication there. Here too. But that's going to happen. Now, that's happened because I can tell that I didn't wait to pull the trigger. And I'm running pure hotkeys. There's no grid drops on this video. Because I just, if I'm scalping, I can see what's going on. I can see the breadth of the market on the 5-minute chart. It's pretty obvious. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's put a grid out there, see what happens. And I guess it's the see what happens orders on the, now the stop orders, you know that if it goes through there on the next one, like 1 to 2 pips apart from the current price, all we have to do here is go up 1 pip and I'll be long. Now I'm in 60K. All I got to do is make 10 to 20 pips here. All we got to do is go out and try to take out the high of that 4-hour bar. Or even go halfway to that 4-hour bar. So if you have that, whip out that fib tool about right now and dissect the, and I don't know why the fib tools aren't running on the 4-hour. Now, if you really were going to Fibonacci trader, you would just take the last 4-hour bar. Forget looking back and all that shit. Just take that 4-hour bar and put the fib tool on that, okay? And you're going to see, if you go to the 15-minute, you're like, oh, look, it hits those numbers. But not exactly. And it's never going to be exact because if you're buying, you can't see the fucking ask on the screen. It's like this climate change shit I heard on the radio. These climate change bozos think that, and if you're a climate change person, I feel so sorry for you. So you're going to have to unsubscribe right now. They're measuring this shit so fine, and they're not putting the spread in there, not putting margin for error into these things. Oh, and they're just selling it like, yeah, you got to sign up with her. Yeah, you know what? It's hilarious. It's hysterical. It's like the guy selling the trading course. It's like, well, let's take a look over. Why do they torture people with these fucking setups at this empowered trading? Let's go look at the Euro Swiss. We see a Gartley forming because my scanners tell me. Now you run over there like a slave to the scanner, and you're like, well, this thing, man, I paid so much for this thing. I mean, and you bet one ticket on the scanner giving you the magic number, the magic fib handle. Magic. They even call it magic numbers, I think, in MetaTrader, which is not helping anybody, I think. When I saw that, I was kind of leery. I go, wait a minute, maybe this is a scam. What's the magic number for that EA? Oh, wow, that'll cost you. Cost you a pinky. Cut your pinky off. Okay, we're still waiting at the 107 here. Bored to death. Now we're just waiting to get filled. If we don't get filled in an hour, we come back and we do the same thing. Hit the buttons. Okay, it looks like we're going to get a pullback finally, below 107. So I've already got the buy limit's already laid in there, so set it and forget it. Let's see what happens to it. Come back to 107 here, and I don't want to get filled on any more than I'm in. I'm in about, I'd just say 100K. It's right around 110K maybe. I'll start deleting these limits because these last for an hour. If the market pulls back one last time, I want to get stopped out. And then I want to go into free fall until it hits another bank of orders and sweeps through those. Because if I get filled on these, I'll just overload the wagon. So I can take these guys off, and I'll know I'm 10 pips away. If they're flashing, I know I'm 10 pips away. That's why 10 pip grid's easy to trade. Plus you can just look at the number, I suppose, and figure out what I think that is. Now this is, I'm at the 75, I'm at 87. Take it back and trim it down to the 80s. Would be a fresh low. And it kind of goes flat. So I don't have an EA for, I don't have a script for that, but it would be a sweet script to strip off everything and just leave the, but you see how you trim that off. Now this is a 1 hour bank sitting below in the new lows. So ideally they're going to take you out, and then you start buying the very first wick again and do the same cycle over and over again. Start buying just beyond that wick. So in case it crushes down, now we should have scalped out of something right there, because they don't give you much. Like the market doesn't give you much in any direction in 15 minutes. So we got to engulf that. Now we got to engulf the high of the day, and you can leave these behind because as soon as you get stopped out of that, it's obvious that's going to be a great place to buy. You don't need a PhD for that. Plus, is the here was the top bottom on the 1 hour. Maybe you missed this. Painfully obvious top. You got your buy limit here. Same thing on the sell side. These flat spots in the line chart are dojis. There's your sell limit. And then here you never got filled. If you put one up here, well, I guess you did. There's a inverted hammer there. What do you want to call it? If you want to do what that guy did, oh, go back here, double bottom. But I think if you go back to the beginning of time, sure, that's a price, but the only thing that matters to me is what's going on right here, right now. Like that song. Okay, so 15-minute. We came back below the fair value thing. But I'm just trading the momentum, which means I just keep putting buy stops in above the last 15 minutes. And you could put sell stops in there. You would have had to take something off that breakout of that one candle. There's the bar version, just the good old bar, which to me is just simpler. I just don't know how people are doing these candles, honestly. Every time I look at a bar chart, I just think, remember the good old days? I don't even want to. When candlestick charting made it into the platforms, that was like when the smiley face made it into the or have a nice day shit. Have a nice day. Now it's, is there anything else we can help you with? Yeah. Could you get rid of this fucking voicemail and have a real person pick up the phone? I'll put that in the suggestion box, sir. We're waiting for all these stops to trigger on the 15-minute. Just like here, you stack them up, you rack them, you stack them. Earlier today, they were all pending here. Of course, these were bad fills. You had to delete these guys and just keep putting in a denser pack, and then kabow. And I said you could have sold that. When I finished the last video, you could see where the sellers are going to come in. I think that's pretty obvious. The sell stop bots would be coming in here. They'd miss out on that 10 pip discount selling. And once again, we come back into this below. So replay rope-a-dope at the 107, 10 pips up, down. But certainly these are obvious. Big vacuum forms, boosh. You know. Very peppy rallies. And then certainly the same thing with a creeper gear move like this, you know, sell stops trailing underneath. Pretty simple. It's mechanical trading. Mechanical trading just blows the shit out of the Gartley stuff. But you can mechanically enter on a Gartley. This looks like a Gartley right here. Come to think of it, there's one batwing and here's the other batwing. So my batwing might have a whole different system. It's called detached batwing. Well, this is actually the face of the bat. This is his wings. He's coming at you. It's like a P0, right? It's like those guys that fly right into a mountain. Gosh, it loves that 107. Feels very safe there. People love that 107. So we're either going to go down or up. So we're either going to ride on the top of this reptilian beast and get cashed out along the way, and maybe we get out here and then we sell, and then it's just over and over again, wick to wick, heartache to heartache. So either you sell at the market on the clock every time it goes up, or you buy at the market on the clock every time it goes down. Now you'd only be in. You would have bought here. And you would have bought here, you wouldn't have bought here, you would have bought here. This one you're up on. That's another really tried and true system. Every 15 minutes it's down, buy, 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 buy. Buy stop, buy stop, buy stop. 3 entry styles. Limits start here. You should be in the market. Just by default on these. And here again, once it comes out here, I'll put the buy limits in. We'll see what happens. We're pulling back again. And then the same on the 5. But you got to babysit this crowd. 15-minute vacuum forming. That's 20 pips. Getting trounced on getting trapped on the sell side of that strategy. But you got your buy limit at the fresh lows. And maybe you are buying every 15 minutes. Now, if you buy every 15 minutes, you got to realize you need a lot more money in your account to trade like that. Okay, we're pulling back one last time, possibly through the floor now. Go to the 5-minute. So now you got to wait to see if we can hold. Otherwise, I'll buy right down here. Start putting in buy limits down here. But that's automated, so that's not the best fit. Okay, buy stops now. About to close a 5-minute chart here, so I put buy stops in. If this is the bottom, we should go up, and my exit's right there at the floor. 10 pip scalp. And hopefully by the top of the hour, we're crushing through this 107 again. It's a 5-minute view. You got the 15-minute view, breaking on the 15s. The 5 will break, and then the 15 should break, either up or down. And the daily. Obviously in an uptrend. That should be pretty obvious. It's been an uptrend for how long now? The whole month. All of a sudden it looks really simple. Here's the big stop hunt, whatever we call it down here. You're long from there. You got money. Okay, we're just looking to make 10 pips though. This isn't some kind of not a position trader. I'm drinking coffee. I want to be out of this thing and take a nap. Okay, so I'm in quite a bit now, and there's nothing to fill though. There's no stops pending, and the limits are very far away. If you try to get the Goldilocks formula, just the right amount of margin, $1,200 here at 100-to-1 leverage. You need a couple bucks to trade this, but you're only trying to make what, 50 cents? So I can see my performance right here. I want to be getting out at different price levels. A spectrum exit. Like if I put buy stops in right now, but I just hate chasing, I'm already in. I get like a slightly different exit out in front of me. It'd be like just kind of running with the devil, and just right up the devil's staircase with that buy stop, buy stop. You know, you have to just have the balls to keep hitting that buy stop here, buy at the market, or of course when it shears up like that, there's no limit fills. You know, you have to change your mode to okay, well, and maybe you could justify that. 15 minutes before the top of the hour, there are squeezes, there are sell-offs, and there are short squeezes, and there are bear squeezes, or whatever you call that. And it's crazy, and it's quick and dirty money. And then you're out, boom. So I'm already out of one ticket. I'm out of something here. And then those blue lines, we just have to hit the blue line. It's like hockey. Got to cross the blue line. So you can also look at this as a hockey game. There's nothing, an aerial view of a hockey game, or it's a vertical view of going through a floor. Either analogy, either metaphor works. Okay, I'm not out of quite enough of these tickets. I'd really like to get down to $500 margin, like being a 50K, as we're coming into the other blue line. Actually, the exit's going to be the trap right there. So they just trapped the 15-minute guys. Those breakout bots have just filled. I'll look for a pullback now. And this is the only good part, is that you could pretty much walk away at this point, because you're not going to get filled on any more positions. And at this point, it'll be whether you're right or wrong. So this would be the wait and see part. So I don't do the wait and see. People do that. Well, wait and see what happens. No, I just get in, because it's like obvious, right? You have to. You see it, right? You can see that where's the market not been is where you want to buy, and where it's at, you want to get in with a tight stop. If you're going to buy at the market, you know, if you're going to be on the 5-minute chart, or the 15 or the 5, you see the 15, you can see what these people are doing. So if you put the 15 on the left and the 5 on the right, you're 3x removed. But see, that was the sell. Somebody's making money on that right now, because it's nothing more than a fake breakout. See? They just cashed in on that. So you needed to be out of something. Or you could dump the whole thing. Now, if you're looking at the big picture, and you're not in enough margin for this, now this is where you can't, there's nothing you can do. You have to wait. This is the hard part. And maybe a buy stop on the 5-minute. So if you know what, I really like that. I'll put a buy stop. Now here's where the discipline takes place, is to only do that every 5 minutes it goes down. It's a 1 hour pending buy stop. So every 5 minutes, come to the chart, it's down, buy. Let's say if you're a beginner trader, it's down 15 minutes, buy. Put a stop in. You'll figure it out. You buy every 15 minutes it goes down with a 20 pip stop. It's so in 1 hour you could lose $8, right? I don't know, $8 an hour. Can you hire somebody for $8 an hour in this world? No, right? They want $15 an hour. I say fuck that. Hell, I could put that order in, right? I could do that job. Like, if am I paying you $15 an hour? I can do what you do in a millisecond. By the time you get your clothes on, right? Okay, not that I'm an angry trader or anything, but so I can put a buy stop here. I mean, no, if I had enough money in the account, I'd say, okay, let's start. This looks like a good, yeah, that's not good, but 5 minute. It's down for 5 minutes, buy. How, I don't know. But do you buy at the market or you buy on a stop? Do you buy on a limit? Now, if you put a limit that lasts for 15 minutes, 20 pips deep with a 10 pip stop, which the stop's 30 pips deep, and every 5 minutes the market drops, you put that 1 hour order in, and you create this whole trail of, you're actually going to replicate the contour of the 5 minute chart over the period of an hour. You're going to see all these orders laid in this perfect curve fit thing. And you're going to say, wow, hey, that's great. So you're in front of the market by a little bit. You have a buy stop thing where you're like, okay, well, in this top bottom, you could buy at the market on the clock at a top bottom, but you have a buy stop in there, and maybe a buy limit just in case you're wrong. Those 3 tickets, buy stop, buy at the market, buy in a limit, are completely 3 different psychologies. That's what I asked those bozos over there in power trading. How you get in the market? Oh, but then no price either. They whip out a fib handle. They whip out a fib thing to find their entry. Are you kidding me? You can't see what's going on here? Have anybody heard of a stop run? Who's buying those stops off of you? Come on. But I guess you can't sell a $4,000 12-week transformation unless you take somebody through some labyrinth of floating abstractions and concrete examples of bat wings and no concepts. No, never. They're just going to oh, let's take a look over here in the NFP, and I don't trade the news because why? You're trading price. What's the difference? Price is price. Stop it. Stop it with all that stuff. Anyways, I don't know. It just blows your brains out. I mean, after you just think, who has not opened a demo account and made a bunch of money? And said, well, how did I do that? And if you look back, you'll notice that typically it's because you sold high and it went down, or you bought low and it went up. That's typically how it works. Now, you can add all that stuff on top of that, and you can cake it with every pretty moving average, and oh my God, the system's out there. But I guess it's just come down to the dynamic range of an instrument. This is why I can't ever understand why old jazz recordings have this poor guy busting his ass on an upright bass while the drummer is just like, of course there was no kick drum on that kit, but I thought, gee, that poor guy's going to take a bass solo. So I bought these high-end CDs with was it Charles Mingus, some fancy, highly acclaimed upright bass player. I get the album home and I can't even hear the bass. I'm like, geez, people, come on. Mic that thing up. What is going on? Now everything's mic'd up. Everything's close mic'd in your face. You can't even leave the room. There's so much bass pounding. You're glued to the floor. That's why I trade with Ninja Trader with the subwoofers on. Okay, we're waiting for the market to go up. Now I can't buy because it's going up. So I had to sit on my buy stop now on the 5 minute. And we can see they've trapped these guys, but guess what? The sellers are going, you know what? I think that ride's over. Just watch the 15-minute chart. How are they feeling about that contrarian stop entry right now? And you're only 3x away. The 5, sync to the 5 to the 15, you got plenty of stuff to worry about there. You don't need to look back at the monthlies if you're scalping. So it's a video. This is a scalp, how to scalp the market video. In the morning, and then take a nap. I don't want to be around for the drama. I got swing accounts trading this thing for 108. Open an account and just buy a little baby position and walk away. Now that's discipline. Close the if you're a scalper, try that one on for size. And then just hand it to your wife. If she hasn't left you yet, hand it to your wife and ask her, you know what? Why don't you trade baby positions for me? Because guess what? If you're a scalper, if you've ever seen a 5-minute chart, you're saying, wow. I mean, if you're looking for Gartleys, you might find them on the 1-minute chart. Now, I would take that harmonic scanner and put it on the 1-minute chart and go, yeah. Now that would work, but putting a Gartley on a daily chart? I mean, how much longer do you think you're going to be alive? I mean, time's ticking. You know, the auction's going to be up on your life pretty soon. You got to pass the baton. Sorry. I can't wait till some of these people are gone. Jesus. But everybody's so wealthy, they can afford to complain. Even me on these damn trading videos, I can afford to complain. Everybody's a whiner. We're the whiners. Can we sit over there? Okay. Top of the hour's coming. Let's see if we can get a stampede north here. Scalp out. Take the money and run. Steve Miller, take the money and run. Somebody should do that Howard Dean scream on top of take the money and run, and then he goes, ooh, no, but yeah, somebody has to do one of those where they blend all the mixes together. There's an afternoon project. Okay, so the guys that sold up there are like, yikes. So did the 15-minute breakout traders robot, is it winning? Is that strategy working for you? How's that working for you? Okay, as soon as it gets to here, I'm already scared I want to get out. As soon as we get to the next 10 handle, I'm like, you know what? We got to go to the next party. They're going to bust this one. The cops are coming. Okay, so if it gets to 50K at the top of this thing, that'll be the perfect, by the blue line, if we're only in, say, 40K by the blue line or 20, that's the perfect scenario. It's perfect. But I'm not used to this terrible margin requirements, so seems like you need a lot of money to trade this thing. Okay, the sellers are coming in right there. See how they trapped him on the 5. So I could get a whole trade right now. So depending how much money you have, you can see that's definitely the sell signal. Now, how could you call somebody up with a service like, Scott sells, take profit signal, just one off? And so we're 5 pips above the round. We got take profits all the way up to here. And then that's it. No more take profits. Down to 87K. I'd say, I don't know, is that 80K coming into the exit. Hopefully it's 50K by the blue line. And then we let the rest drift. But definitely the scalps are all pre-built in there. I haven't moved any targets, which I had to move last night because I got in with scripts that were written to make 20 and 30 pips, and the thing moved 50 pips, so I had to keep moving the targets up. I had to intervene on the trade plan. Intervention was needed. I'm going to sit them down and ask them. Here at 50K. So by the blue line, we're almost at 50K. Okay, at 30K. So almost totally flat. Almost totally out of this thing. True scalp. About to go flat here. Or I'm about to hit the flat key myself because we're right at the target. Coming underneath into this 5-minute bottom here. This is the exit door. But we could just go blowing through the top because you've got 30 seconds left. So right now, you could literally go right through the top of the day. Boom. And some shear your head off move. So look at the 1 hour. It'll just pop up here. It's only 10 pips to go. And you got 20 seconds. 20 seconds to get there. Okay, I lost track of my here. It's 28K. 28 bucks. Okay. 10 seconds. We should be out. We should be flat. And we could go flying up 40 pips here. Okay, there you go. Top of the hour. And there you go, $8. So that's the perfect trade. And here's my last tickets. A retest of the high of the day. But you know what? I'm ready to get out. I got my finger on the trigger. I think we could retest the high of the day. What do you think? You know what? Fuck them. So I'm going to get out. There you go. Scalping the euro dollar. Now the sellers are coming in. Cowabunga. All right. I'll buy on pullbacks.